I've been getting plenty of questions recently asking if I can break down some ragdoll riffs, and that's really humbling, and I've been a little bit hesitant to do it. But I figured if I show you guys how I play guitar, rather than try to sound like me, maybe it'll give you guys some ideas on how you can sound like yourself even more, because writing these songs was definitely a process of self-discovery for me, helping me discover my own style and what I like to pull from all my favorite players in order to roll it into something that ultimately serves a piece of music, not a piece of just guitar playing, not just a sort of showcase for guitar tone and technique, but something which serves a song that people are going to hopefully listen to, and that, you know, somebody has to sing, somebody has to play bass to, somebody has to play drums to. So I'm going to break down 4 ragdoll songs that have been really requested. Plain God, Rewind Your Mind, Letting Go. They are all in drop C. They're all from our Back to Zero album, which was our most recent release. For those songs, I'd recommend something like a Mesa Rectifier with like a Les Paul or a PRS in drop C. And I'm also going to break down the main melody lead part for Heaven Above, which is off our Ragdoll Rewound album, which is more of a Marshall bass thing. It's in drop C sharp, and I'm pretty sure I originally played that one on a Les Paul with burst buckers. So that's the little tone guide. Let's get into these songs, and hopefully this gives you guys something to jam along to if you're enjoying the ragdoll stuff, which is totally awesome. It blows my mind that people are digging that. That makes me so happy. Or the main aim here is hopefully it gives you a little bit of inspiration to come up with some riffs of your own, and if I can do it, you guys can do it. So let's dig in. Thanks for watching.
For yourself, trying to please me. Rewind your mind completely.
Rewind Your Mind is pretty sludgy and pretty straightforward. It's using what I call the grunge scale. So I'm going to play the notes of the blues scale on the low string. In this case, I'm in drop C, so it's going to be a low C string. The notes for the blues scale will be open 3, 5, 6, 7, and 10. And then we're just going to play them as power chords. And the only weird chord that I play in here is when I play this 5th fret power chord, I add the 5th fret on the 3rd string and the open 2nd string. So you get this. Hopefully you can see that. And we just play that at the end. So this is the riff for Rewind Your Mind. And you can hear that, what I would call a King's X chord at the end there, with this really weird, you know, I'm playing all the strings except for the top string, the 2nd string is open, and then everything else is the 5th fret. And I'm reaching under and using my middle finger to get the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and then playing a 1st finger power chord there. So pretty straightforward, pretty satisfying to play. So the main riff for Plain God, again, this one is in drop C. It's in the key of C minor. The chords that I'm playing are the open low strings, basically, to get a big C5 power chord, and then I'm playing the 10th and the 12th as drop C power chords like this. And then I am playing this chord, which is an inversion. These are like your Smoke on the Water inversions, 4ths. It's the 10th fret on the 3rd and 4th string, so we get this. And then to finish it all off, I'm just going back and playing the 12th. And the last part would be open 2, 3 as drop C power chords. And then we have this run using thirds where I'm playing the 8th fret of the 5th string and the 7th fret of the 4th string. So that gives you... And then I'm playing 7 on the 5th and 5 on the 4th. And then it's 3 and 2, and then 5 and 3, like this. To me, very influenced by Dio era Black Sabbath. There's a lot of those kind of thing like Children of the Sea or Falling Off the Edge of the World. It's just our hyped up turbo version of that. So that's Playing God.
Have to let you know. You have to let me go.
Letting Go was the last song we recorded for Back to Zero, and it's one of the few songs that we've recorded that we've never played live. And this was one of those things where I remember we were recording drums till like 5 in the morning on the last night. We just weren't ready to record it, but we really wanted to get it down. And listening back to the album, it's one of my favorite tracks on there. There's so many cool riffs, but this is how you play the main riff. It's very similar to Playing God in the way it's structured. There's those inversions in there, but there's one more, which is a super 80s thing, which is, it would be the 10th fret on the 4th string and the 9th fret on the 3rd string. So you get this... your sort of classic 80s maneuver. So the main riff goes like this. And then there's this kind of triplet picking thing on the, what is that, the 8th fret power chord. And the same thing at the 5th fret, but then we add in 5, 3, 5. And then an inversion on the middle strings at the 5th fret again. So... and then to finish off, hit the 5th fret as a drop C power chord again. And you can hear when you go back to play the riff again, you do a little on the low strings. So let's have a listen to that with some drums. Then there is, as you can hear at the end of that demo, there's another riff, which is kind of my take on, this is very influenced by bands like Winger and stuff like that, a kind of groove-orientated. It's oscillating again between like a Dorian tonality and a Mixolydian tonality. Pretty simple, starting off around the 5th, 3rd, and 2nd frets. And then we're going to repeat that, but instead of playing 3, 2 on the 5th string and then 3 on the low string, move that up so that we're 10 and 9, and that gives it the sort of Mixolydian, dominant flavor. and they are the two main riffs for Letting Go. All right, let's break down Heaven Above. This is one of my favorite Ragdoll songs. It's a little bit different from the other tracks we've looked at in the way the intro is structured. I want to show you this main melody and talk about how I went about writing it and why I like it so much. It's definitely been one of our more popular songs. We haven't played it live for a while, but I think it's probably about time we dusted it off because it's a really fun one to play. But I'll show you guys the intro. Anytime I play this in a demo video, people say, hey, what's that song? So I want to show you how to do this. We're in drop C sharp. So basically tune your guitar down a half step and then take your low string down a further tone. Basically means you can play a big C sharp power chord like this. And play all the Alice in Chains songs that you want, which is great. So this song is in the key of, well, I guess it's in A flat, but I'm going to refer to everything as though I'm playing in standard. So the first thing you play is an A power chord down in the open position like this. Then I'm playing the vocal melody, or I guess the main theme of the song, on the G string. So I'm starting at A. And this is interesting in that it is using essentially a Mixolydian mode on the way up, and then it's using a minor pentatonic on the way down. So the melody notes are the notes A, C sharp, D, E, and G, which sounds like this. Then what I'm doing is I'm playing an F. Again, this is all actually one step lower, so it's going to sound like an E, but let's think about it as F for now. I'm playing that on the 8th fret of the A string, and then I'm also getting a G note, again, all one step lower, they're going to sound that way anyway, on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and then I'm going to play the 10th fret of the 2nd string after that. So you play those, I play it with my pick for the low note and my middle finger for the higher note. And then for the descending part of the melody, I hit the open 4th string and the 7th fret of the 3rd string. I immediately hammer on to the 9th and go back to the 7th, and then I play the 5th. So this is like a minor pentatonic thing in A with a D bass. And that is how you play the intro and also the outro as well. The rest of the vocal melody changes for the 3rd repeat. It would be playing the notes, in this case it'd be 9, 7 on the 3rd string and then 7 on the D. And then you jump up to the root note in the octave, which is coming from a minor scale. So part of the reason I think this song, or this melody anyway, really grabbed me in the first place, and I think why it connects with a lot of people, is as you're ascending, you're using notes from the Mixolydian mode or the dominant scale, which has this really triumphant kind of tonality. And then as you're coming back down, you're using notes from the minor scale, which is a little bit more morose. So there's this harmonic tension playing out between the Mixolydian, which is a little bit brighter, and the minor scale, which is a little bit darker. So you get that sort of light and shade contrast. And as we know, music is all about building tension and releasing it in different ways. So I think that's why this really works. Made a little mistake there. It should go. And that's how you put together the main part for Heaven Above. If you guys like the video and you want to support the channel, you can buy some Ragdoll music. Go to our Bandcamp store. It is linked in the video description. We've got shirts, we've got CDs, we've got vinyl, we've got everything you could want. That would mean a lot to me if you pick something up. If not, we're on all the major streaming platforms if you just want to listen to the songs. Hopefully this gives you some fresh ideas to play around with. It gives you something to jam with. And like I said earlier, hopefully it inspires you to explore your own sound and try to write some music of your own. So I'll see you guys around. Thanks so much for watching.